but is actually the hardest type of ceramic material. It's even used in electrical insulators because it withstands very high heat. But most people think of China as decorative. China as we know it today was invented in 1949 when Communist revolutionary leader Mao Zedong officially declared its creation following the Chinese Civil War, as seen in this sketch. China's government today follows a mold and plaster model. Any new laws are created on a negative made of plaster to test their shape and effectiveness in government policy. The three current rulers of China are legendary Shaolin warriors, Feldsmith, chillin, and quartz. A piece of their soul is imbued in each bit of Chinese manufacturing. The national sport of China is called filling the oddly shaped bucket. Here we see the trophy for first prize, hidden inside the lucky winner's bucket. Toilets in China are very, very tiny, because 95% of Chinese people
I'll reveal your true form.
The 5% who do are known as butt boys. In an emergency, these tiny toilets can often double as public drinking fountains.
All right, it's time. The first move is ours.
After viewing this footage, please remind me to teach you about sexual education in China.
Okay. No match for me.
In China, time is measured via a hole punch system. Right now, it's about 12 o'clock. Okay, well thanks a lot, Sunyi. Now we'll never know what fucking time it is. Technology in China has advanced far enough to create living robots. Here you can see them bleed, sweat, and die. If you feel bad for the robot who was just killed and had his face fashioned into a dinner plate, don't. He was a racist. Homes in China are uncomfortably cramped, containing nearly 30 pieces of decorative ceramics per citizen.
Look, a treasure chest.
Focus.
Here we see a Chinese citizen moving to a new, more open concept home. Waterboarding never went out of style in China, but even more popular is witchcraft. This woman is casting a spell for more ceramic pots.
Now's our chance.
Persona!
Go! Yes! Victory!
The homes of the wealthy aren't all that much more impressive than the common folk. The only difference being that their decorative ceramics are shinier.
That's all it takes for me. Oh! Yes!
As seen here, the internet in China is very rudimentary and only used for text communication. And now, as an added bonus, please enjoy China's oldest magic trick. The solid rubber tire is designed for off-road conditions such as construction sites, landfills, and warehouses. These areas are full of hazards that would flatten ordinary air-filled tires. But solid tires don't go flat, they just keep on turning. And that's a good thing on any job site. Solid rubber tires come in a variety of flavors and are ideal for heavy work due to their complex manufacturing process. It all starts with two-dimensional rubber, which is fed into a 3D printer, which converts it into three-dimensional rubber.
Yeah! Victory!
All right.
The 3D rubber is melded into the beast from the chocolate episode, and then rolled into a mass known as the polished turd. Next, a local serial killer extracts the premium flesh from the rolled rubber, spinning it onto a steel base. Slices of rubber are taken off to be taste tested by the employees.
See it.
The newly solid tire is broken in by being used as a piñata and then moved to the next stage.
Hey,
The tire is put into a mold, covered to prevent heat loss, and placed with many other tires onto a conveyor belt oven at about 350 degrees for 1 hour.
I can see it.
Exiting the oven, the tires are shown to neighboring factories to display how well the business is doing, and then they're removed from their molds by hand.
I'll reveal your true form.
This tire is dead. The remaining tires are then coated in liquid rubber, which both helps seal in any remaining cracks and looks like straight up dookie. Workers spread the liquid rubber and then comb it to give the tires fashionable hairdos, just in time for the school dance. This tire tried to fight for equal rights and must be euthanized. By now, so much of the processed rubber for the tire production has been wasted on trivial bullshit that this is all that remains. The small amount of rubber is poured into a wooden casing shaped like the finished product to prevent employees from wasting even more of the precious material. The wooden casing is then fashioned into a boat paddle, because no one ever thinks to look for treasure inside a boat paddle.
I have something.
The shop owner then fashions himself a second decoy boat paddle, in case someone, for some reason, thinks of looking for treasure inside a boat paddle.
It's somewhere.
In Canadian, this logo means decoy, furthering the ruse. Finally, after a long aging process, the casing is broken open, revealing the finished tire.
Oh, hey, it came on. Huh, this one's kind of hard to tell, though.
it must be scrambled. as
Honey
well.
is Winnie the Pooh's favorite treat. It's sweet and sticky, and it's produced by an industrious insect whose miniature society is one of the most sophisticated in the animal kingdom. It all begins in a field where worker bees suck nectar from flower blossoms such as rhododendron. They store it in their testicles, then return it to their hive where they ejaculate it for the other honeybees to chew on it. This breaks down the nectar's complex sugars into two simple sugars, glucose and Splenda. The bees then vomit the chewed substance into cells of their wax honeycomb because they realize what they've been chewing
Jumping
on.
in front of. Could this be the moment?
Over
when we-
time, this honey is meticulously crafted into a tremendous work of architectural and chemical ingenuity, which means it's the perfect opportunity for the beekeeper to step in and ruin everything. Bees will sting if taken by surprise, so most beekeepers spray the colony with marijuana smoke to calm them down. Inside the hive are wooden frames. Normally they're coated with honey, but this one unfortunately has been infested with bees.
Let's do it.
The only rule of being a beekeeper is to not directly touch the bees. Don't worry folks, this man is actually a fireman, not a beekeeper. honeycomb slats are removed from the hive and brought to the factory, where any straggling bees are liquefied thanks to a giant pulsating blade. The honey is squeegeed for clarity, and then put into a machine called a honey extractor. Honey doesn't taste good unless it's spun around a lot. It's true. We don't know why it's true, but it is. So please don't write into us asking why it's true. Some beehives deliver fully made honeycomb to the factory as an offering to spare their habitats. This offering, while convenient, is never enough. A hot press machine turns the honeycomb into sugar wafers.
Dangerous one in there. Ooh, very nice. We got an item.
Who's next?
Yeah!
The beeswax lining of the honeycomb will go on to be used as optical illusions you will find on clickbait websites. Sometimes, if the manufacturer cannot meet market demand, high fructose corn syrup will be shipped in, bottled, and sold under the same label.
Hey, that's a rare one. Don't let it escape.
Finally, the honey is siphoned into jars, which are transported to your local supermarket, who painstakingly transport all the honey by hand into those tiny little plastic bear containers.
I can feel it. Cake.
Displaying a life-size horse makes a galloping statement at a farm, racetrack, or a Western-themed venue. Some horse owners even commission a replica of their favorite animal.
Treasure chest.
A life-size horse can be an attraction, but before the horse as we know it, 55 million years ago, was an animal known as the Hyracotherium, as seen here. The Hyracotherium evolved into the modern horse over millions of years, adapting to predators, competitors, and environmental conditions, in a process similar to the one shown here.
I can feel it.
This sensei.
Around 5,000 years ago, humans began to domesticate horses so they could ride them for transportation, which began the formulation of horse-centered human cultures, like this one shown here. Soon, horses became the norm for transportation, leading to the invention of horse accessories, such as